Hello, and welcome to another effective episode of Code Your English, where we help you transform your life through language. I'm really happy you are here today. Thank you for giving me your time and choosing to listen to this podcast. Please find a comfortable place, take a deep breath, and relax. This podcast is made for you, especially if you are learning English and want to improve your listening and speaking step by step. There is no pressure here. You don't need to understand every word perfectly. Just listen, enjoy, and let your English grow naturally. In today's episode, we are going to talk about a very common sentence that many people say every day. That sentence is, "I am too busy." You hear it everywhere. People say it at work. They say it at home. They say it to their friends. They say it to themselves. But today, I want us to stop for a moment and think together. Are we really too busy, or is there something else happening? This podcast will help you see this idea in a simple and clear way. The title of this episode is "You're Not Too Busy. You're Just Prioritizing Wrong." Don't worry if this sentence sounds a little strong or new. We will explain everything slowly and clearly. In very simple words, this episode is about how we use our time every day. It is about the choices we make without thinking. It is about why we say we have no time, even when we actually do. And most importantly, it is about how we can change small things to make our life and our English learning better. Many people say, "I am too busy to learn English." Maybe you have said this before. Maybe you feel tired after work. Maybe you feel your day is already full. That feeling is very normal. You are not lazy, and you are not weak. In this episode, I am not here to judge you. I am here to help you understand yourself better in a kind and friendly way. This podcast uses easy English. I speak slowly, and I use simple words and simple sentences. This is done on purpose, so you can follow easily and feel confident. You can listen to this episode while walking, resting, or sitting quietly. You can also pause and repeat some sentences if you want to practice speaking. This is your learning space. So now, let's begin together. Open your mind, relax your body, and listen with curiosity. By the end of this episode, you may start to see time, priorities, and even your English learning in a new way. This is Code Your English, and I'm glad you're here with me today. What does too busy really mean? Now let's talk about the words too busy. These two words are very common in daily life. People use them all the time. When someone says, "I am too busy," they usually mean, "I have many things to do." They feel tired. They feel stressed. They feel their day is full. So, on the surface, being busy sounds normal and understandable. We all have work, family, responsibilities, and problems to think about. But let's slow down and look at this phrase more carefully. When we say too busy, what do we really mean? Do we really have no time at all? Or do we feel that our time is already taken by other things? This is an important question. Being busy does not always mean that time does not exist. Time is always there. Every day has 24 hours. This is true for everyone, in every country, and in every life situation. Think about this gently. Even on very busy days, we still find time to eat. We find time to check our phone. We find time to rest a little. We find time to watch something or scroll on social media. This does not mean these things are bad. It only shows us something important. It shows us that time is not really disappearing. Time is being used in different ways. So when someone says, I am too busy to learn English, it usually does not mean I have 0 minutes. It often means I am using my time on other things. This is where a new idea comes in. This idea is called choice. A choice is something you decide to do. Every day, you make many small choices without thinking about them. You choose when to wake up. You choose what to watch. You choose how long you stay on your phone. These choices slowly fill your day. Another important word here is priority. A priority is something that you think is important. What you do first shows your priority. What you do every day shows your priority. For example, if you watch videos every evening but never practice English, then watching videos is a higher priority than learning English. This does not mean you are wrong or bad. It just means your priorities are not clear yet. Let's say this in a very simple way. Busy does not always mean no time. Busy often means different priorities. We all have the same amount of time, but we do not all use it in the same way. Some people choose to wake up 10 minutes earlier to practice English. Some people choose to listen to English while walking. Others choose to spend that time on something else. Again, this is not about blame. It is about awareness. The key message here is very important, so let's repeat it slowly. Time is not the problem. Time is never the problem. The problem is how we choose. When you understand this, something changes in your mind. You stop saying, I can't. You start asking, what can I change? Even small changes can create space for learning and growth. Understanding the meaning of too busy helps you become more honest with yourself. It helps you see your daily life clearly. And when you see clearly, you can choose better. This is the first step toward using your time in a way that supports your goals, including your goal to learn English and improve your life step by step. The main idea. It's about priority, not time. Now let's move to the main idea of this podcast. This is the heart of today's message. It is not really about time. It is about priority. Many people think their problem is time. They say, I don't have time, or my day is too full. But when we look more closely, we start to see something different. Time is the same for everyone, but priorities are different for each person. First, let's understand the word priority in a very simple way. A priority is something that you decide is important. It is something you choose to do first, or something you do again and again. Your priorities show what matters most to you right now. You may say learning English is important, but if you never give time to it, then it is not yet a real priority in your daily life. This is not criticism. This is just the truth. And understanding the truth helps us grow. Now let's look at the difference between being busy and choosing priorities. Being busy means you have many things to do. You may feel tired, rushed, or stressed. But choosing priorities means you decide which things are more important than others. Two people can be equally busy, but their lives can look very different. One person may be busy with work and still find 10 minutes to study English because learning is a priority. Another person may be busy and choose to spend free time on the phone because comfort or entertainment is a higher priority at that moment. This is where many people feel confused. They think successful people have more time, but this is not true. Everyone has the same 24 hours in one day. The rich and the poor, the student and the worker, the teacher and the learner, all have the same amount of time. The difference is not the number of hours. The difference is how those hours are used. Some people use small pieces of time very well. Others lose small pieces of time without noticing. Let's look at a very easy example. Imagine two people after work. Both are tired. Both sit down in the evening. One person watches videos for 1 hour. The other person watches videos for 30 minutes and uses 10 minutes to listen to English. The second person is not less busy, but their priority is different. They choose learning, even for a short time. Because of that small choice, their English slowly improves. We can also say this with simple contrast words. People say they are too busy, but they still find time for things they enjoy. They say they have no time because they feel tired or distracted. So they choose comfort instead of growth. These small words, but, because, so, help us see the real reason behind our actions. They show that our choices come before our results. The main idea is this: when something is important, we make time for it. When something is not a priority, we say we are busy. This does not mean we do not care. It means we have not decided clearly yet. Once you decide that learning English is a priority, your behavior starts to change. You look for small moments. You use waiting time. You listen while walking or resting. Understanding this idea can change the way you think. Instead of asking, "Why don't I have time?" you start asking, "What am I choosing right now?" This question is powerful because it puts control back in your hands. You may not change your whole life in one day, but you can change one small choice. And one small choice, repeated daily, can change everything, including your English and your confidence. Common things people say when they are too busy. Now let's look at some very common sentences people say when they feel too busy. You may hear these sentences every day, or maybe you say them yourself. This is normal. These sentences are part of daily life, and that is why they are important to understand. When you listen to them carefully, they tell us a lot about how people think and feel about time, energy, and change. One very common sentence is, "I don't have time to study English." Many English learners say this, especially after a long day of work or study. When people say this, they usually feel tired in their body and mind. They feel that learning English needs a lot of energy and long hours. So their brain tries to protect them by saying, "Not now." This sentence does not always mean they truly have no time. It often means they feel overwhelmed, and learning feels like a big task instead of a small daily habit. Another sentence we hear often is, "I'm too busy to exercise." This sentence is very similar. People know exercise is good for their health, but they push it to the future. They imagine exercise as something that needs 1 full hour, special clothes, or a lot of effort. Because of this, they feel it is impossible to start today. The same thinking happens with English learning. People think they need long study time, perfect focus, and strong motivation, so they decide not to start at all. Then there is a sentence that sounds small but is very powerful. "I will start tomorrow." Tomorrow sounds safe and comfortable. When people say this, they are not lying. They often really want to start. But tomorrow becomes a place where we put our dreams and goals, instead of acting today. Tomorrow feels easier than today, because today asks us to make a small effort now. This sentence is very common in spoken English, and you can repeat it to understand how natural it sounds, but also notice how often it stops action. People say these sentences for gentle and human reasons. They are not lazy or careless. Many people feel tired, stressed, or mentally full. Their mind looks for rest and comfort. Saying, "I'm too busy," is a way to explain that feeling. It is easier to say than to look deeply at our choices. These sentences protect us from feeling guilty because they give us a reason not to act. But when we listen carefully, we can hear a pattern. These sentences often come when something feels difficult, new, or uncomfortable. Learning English, exercising, or changing habits takes effort, so the brain chooses comfort instead. This is why these sentences sound so natural in daily speech. They are part of how humans talk about delay and avoidance. For English learners, these sentences are also useful language tools. They are common, real, and natural. You can practice saying them out loud to improve your speaking, but at the same time, you can become more aware of them. When you hear yourself say, "I don't have time," you can stop and ask yourself a gentle question. Is it really about time, or is it about energy, comfort, or priority? Understanding these common sentences helps you understand yourself better. It helps you see that you are not alone in this thinking. And once you see the pattern, you can slowly change it. Awareness is the first step. When you notice your words, you begin to notice your choices. And when your choices change, your habits and results can change too, including your English learning journey. The truth. Time is the same for everyone. Now let's talk about a simple but powerful truth. Time is the same for everyone. This idea may sound obvious, but many people forget it in daily life. Every single day has 24 hours. Not more, not less. It does not matter who you are, where you live, or what your job is. A student, a worker, a parent, a business owner, and a famous person all wake up with the same amount of time. Many people believe that successful people have more time. They think, if I had more time, I could learn English. Or, if my life was easier, I would work on myself. But this is not true. Successful people also feel tired. They also feel busy. They also have problems, stress, and responsibilities. The difference is not that their life is easier. The difference is how they use their time. Let's look at this gently. Being tired does not mean you cannot do anything. Being busy does not mean you have no choices. Even on a full day, there are small moments. There are 10 minutes here, 5 minutes there. Many people do not notice these moments because they feel small. But small moments, when used every day, become very powerful. Think about how people use time without thinking. We check our phone many times a day. We scroll without a clear reason. We watch short videos, one after another. Each moment feels short, but together they become a long time. This does not mean using your phone is bad. It only shows us something important. Time is being used, even when we feel busy. Now think about successful people you admire. They do not wait for a perfect day. They do not wait to feel full of energy. They use the time they have, even when it is not perfect. They may listen to something while walking. They may read a little before sleeping. They use time in small, smart ways. This is how progress happens. This is very important for English learners to understand. You do not need hours of free time to improve your English. You need small, regular moments. 5 minutes of listening. 10 minutes of speaking. One short podcast episode. When this becomes a habit, your English grows naturally. The key is not more time. The key is better use of time. So let's repeat the key message slowly and clearly. Time is not the problem. Time has never been the problem. The problem is how we choose. Every choice, even a small one, decides how your time is used. When you choose comfort again and again, nothing changes. When you choose growth, even for a few minutes, change begins. This idea is not meant to create pressure or guilt. It is meant to give you power. When you understand that time is equal for everyone, you stop blaming your situation. You start looking at your choices. And when you change one small choice, you change the direction of your life. This is true for success, for learning, and for your English journey. What are priorities? Now let's understand one very important word. This word is priority. You will hear this word many times in life, at work, and in learning. So it is important to understand it clearly and use it correctly. A priority is something that you decide is important. It is something you choose to do first. It is something you give time and energy to. When something is a priority, you do it even when you feel tired. We often think priorities are what we say, but in real life, priorities are what we do. You may say, "My health is important," but if you never exercise or rest, then health is not a real priority yet. You may say, "English is important for my future," but if you never practice it, then English is not a priority in your daily life. This is not a bad thing. It just shows the difference between words and actions. What you do first in the day often shows your priority. Think about your morning. Do you check your phone first? Do you open social media first? Or do you spend a few minutes learning something new? These small actions tell a clear story. If your phone is the first thing you touch every morning, then your phone is a priority. If learning or health is the first thing, then that is your priority. Let's look at a simple example. Imagine you have one free hour. You can watch TV, scroll on social media, or practice English. What you choose in that moment shows your priority. If you choose TV, then comfort is your priority. If you choose English, then growth is your priority. There is no judgment here. This example is only to help you see how priorities work in real life. Many people say they have no time, but they spend a lot of time on their phone. Phones, TV, and social media take small pieces of time again and again. Each piece feels short, but together they become hours. Learning and health often need only a small piece of time, but because they feel difficult, people put them later. This is how priorities quietly change without us noticing. Let's repeat the word again. Priority. A priority is what you choose. A priority is what you protect. A priority is what you do again and again. When you repeat this word, it becomes easier to use it in speaking. You can say, "English is my priority." You can say, "My health is my priority." These are simple sentences, but they are powerful when they are true in action. The good news is that priorities are not fixed. You can change them. You can decide today that learning English is a priority. This does not mean studying for hours. It means choosing English over something else for a few minutes. It means listening instead of scrolling. It means speaking instead of watching. Small choices create new priorities. When you understand priorities, you stop feeling confused about time. You see clearly why some things move forward and others do not. You understand that your daily actions shape your future. And when you choose better priorities, your life slowly becomes better too. Step by step, minute by minute. Small daily examples of wrong priorities. Now let's look at some small daily examples of wrong priorities. These examples are very common. Almost everyone does these things, so please remember one important point. This is not about blaming yourself. This is about understanding yourself. When you understand, you can change. When you blame, you feel bad and stop trying. So let's look at these examples with kindness and honesty. One very common example is watching videos in English, but not practicing English. Many learners watch a lot of videos, podcasts, or movies. This is not a bad habit. Listening is important. But sometimes people only watch and never speak. They never repeat sentences. They never say words out loud. They say, "I don't have time to practice speaking." But they spend a long time only watching. In this case, the priority is comfort, not practice. Watching feels easy. Speaking feels uncomfortable. So the brain chooses the easier option. Another common example is scrolling on the phone for 1 hour. This happens very quietly. You open your phone for 2 minutes, but then 10 minutes pass. Then 30 minutes pass. Then 1 hour is gone. Later you say, "I had no time today." But the time was there. It was just used without a clear decision. Again, this is not about guilt. Phones are part of modern life. The problem is not the phone. The problem is unconscious choice. Let's look at another example. People often say, "I have no time to learn English," but they spend time on many small things. They answer messages slowly. They watch short videos. They switch between apps. Each action feels small and harmless, but together they take a lot of time. Learning English feels big, so it is pushed away. Small actions feel easy, so they fill the day. Wrong priorities do not come from bad intentions. They come from tired minds. After a long day, the brain wants rest. It wants something easy. It wants something familiar. So it chooses scrolling, watching, or doing nothing. Learning, speaking, and practicing feel like work. So they are delayed. This is very human behavior. The important thing to understand is this. Wrong priorities are not loud. They are quiet. They happen in small moments. You do not wake up and say, "Today I will waste my time." It happens slowly, minute by minute. This is why many people feel confused at the end of the day. They feel busy, but they do not feel progress. Seeing these examples clearly is a big step forward. When you notice them, you can make gentle changes. For example, you can say, "Before I scroll, I will practice English for 5 minutes." Or, "After one video, I will repeat 3 sentences." These are small actions, but they change your priority. Remember, this is not about being perfect. It is about being aware. When you are aware, you become more powerful. You start choosing instead of reacting. And when your choices change, your results change too. Step by step, your priorities become clearer, and your learning becomes part of your daily life, not something you delay for tomorrow. Why we choose the wrong priorities. Now let's talk about why we choose the wrong priorities. This is a very important part of the topic, because when we understand the reason, we stop being angry with ourselves. Many people think they are lazy or weak, but in most cases, this is not true. Human behavior follows simple patterns. When we see these patterns clearly, change becomes easier. One big reason we choose the wrong priorities is comfort. Comfort feels safe. Comfort feels easy. After a long day, your body and your mind want rest. They do not want effort. So you choose things that feel light and relaxing. You watch videos. You scroll on your phone. You lie down and do nothing. These actions give quick comfort. Learning English Exercising or working on yourself does not give quick comfort. It needs energy. So the brain says, let's do this later. Another reason is what many people call laziness, but laziness is often misunderstood. Most people are not truly lazy. They are tired. They are overloaded. They have too many thoughts in their head. When the mind is tired, it looks for the easiest option. This is not a character problem. It is a human reaction. Saying, I am lazy, is often easier than saying, I am exhausted and need support. Fear is another strong reason. Learning something new can feel scary. You may fear making mistakes. You may fear speaking badly. You may fear feeling slow or stupid. These feelings are very common, especially for English learners. So instead of facing these fears, the mind chooses avoidance. It chooses activities that do not test you. This is how fear quietly changes your priorities without you noticing. Distractions also play a big role. Phones, apps, TV, and social media are designed to take your attention. They are colorful. They are fast. They give instant pleasure. When you feel bored or tired, your hand goes to your phone without thinking. This is not your fault. This is how modern tools are built. But when distractions become stronger than your goals, your priorities slowly change. Let's use simple cause and effect sentences to understand this clearly. Because you feel tired, you choose comfort. Because learning feels hard, you delay it. Because your phone is always near you, you use it often. So, your time goes to easy things, not important things. These sentences show us how one feeling leads to one action, and then to one result. Understanding these reasons is very powerful. When you see that wrong priorities come from comfort, fear, and distraction, you stop blaming yourself. You start planning better. You can say, I know I will feel tired, so I will choose something small. You can say, I am afraid of speaking, so I will practice for 2 minutes only. This way, you work with your human nature, not against it. The goal is not to remove comfort or distractions completely. The goal is balance. When you understand why you choose wrongly, you can gently guide yourself back to what matters. And slowly, your priorities begin to change. Not by force, but by awareness and kindness toward yourself. How wrong priorities affect our life. Now let's talk about what happens when we keep the wrong priorities for a long time. These effects do not appear in one day. They grow slowly. Many people do not notice them at first, but they feel them inside. Understanding these effects helps us reflect on our habits and think about what we really want in life. One big effect of wrong priorities is stress. When important things are delayed again and again, they stay in your mind. You may not be studying English, but you are thinking about it. You may not be taking care of your health, but you know you should. This creates mental pressure. Your mind feels full. You feel busy, even when you are resting. This kind of stress is quiet but heavy. Another common feeling is guilt. Guilt comes when your actions do not match your goals. You say English is important, but you do not practice it. You say your health matters, but you do nothing for it. At the end of the day, you feel bad about yourself. You may say, I will do better tomorrow, but tomorrow looks the same. This repeated guilt slowly reduces your confidence. Wrong priorities also lead to a lack of progress. Days pass, weeks pass, months pass, but nothing changes. Your English stays at the same level. Your energy stays low. This is very frustrating. You feel like you are trying, but results do not come. This happens because effort is not focused on the right things. Busy does not always mean productive. Another effect is feeling tired all the time. This may sound strange, but wrong priorities can make you more tired, not less. When you spend too much time on phones, screens, and distractions, your mind does not truly rest. You are active, but not refreshed. You avoid important tasks, but they stay in your thoughts. This mental weight makes you feel exhausted. Let's look at this in simple present sentences. You choose comfort, and you feel relaxed for a short time. You delay important work, and you feel stress later. You avoid learning, and you feel guilt. You repeat this cycle, and you feel tired. This is how small daily choices slowly shape your emotional life. In the future, if nothing changes, these feelings can become stronger. You may feel more stress. You may feel more regret. You may feel further from your goals. But the good news is that this future is not fixed. When you change priorities, feelings change too. This part of the podcast is not meant to scare you. It is meant to help you reflect. Reflection is gentle thinking. You look at your life without judgment. You ask simple questions. How do I feel at the end of the day? Am I moving forward or staying still? Do my actions support my goals? When you understand how wrong priorities affect your life, you gain clarity, and clarity gives you power. Once you see the connection between your choices and your feelings, you can start choosing differently, one small step at a time. How to start prioritizing the right way. Understanding is good, but action is better. The good news is this: you do not need big changes. You do not need a perfect plan. You only need small steps. Small steps are easier to start, and they are easier to continue. First, start small. Do not try to change your whole life in one day. Big changes feel heavy, and they often fail. Try something very simple. Try 5 minutes of English a day. Try listening to one short audio. Try repeating 2 or 3 sentences. When the step is small, your mind feels safe. Small steps build confidence. Confidence helps you continue. Next, choose one important thing each day. Do not choose many goals. One is enough. In the morning or at the start of your day, ask yourself one simple question. What is one important thing for me today? It can be English practice. It can be health. It can be rest. When you choose one thing, your mind becomes clear. You know what matters today. Now let's talk about your phone. Phones are useful, but they are also powerful distractions. You do not need to stop using your phone completely. That is not realistic. Instead, limit phone time gently. Try to delay using your phone in the morning. Try to check it after you do one useful thing. Even 10 minutes without your phone can create space for learning. Another important skill is learning to say no sometimes. Saying no does not mean you are rude. It means you respect your time and energy. You can say no to extra scrolling. You can say no to watching one more video. You can say no to things that do not support your goals. When you say no to something small, you say yes to something important. Try to put learning before entertainment. This does not mean you remove entertainment from your life. Entertainment is part of rest and joy. But try this simple rule. First learn, then relax. For example, practice English for 10 minutes, then watch a video. This small change sends a clear message to your brain. Learning becomes a priority, not a task you avoid. Now let's make English part of your daily life. Do not see English as something separate or heavy. Use English in small moments. Listen while walking. Speak while cooking. Repeat words while resting. When English becomes part of daily life, it feels easier and more natural. You do not need special time. You use real time. Let's use simple instructions to remember this. Try 5 minutes. Start today. Choose one thing. Limit your phone. Say no sometimes. Put learning first. These simple actions are enough to change your direction. You do not need perfection. You need consistency. Remember, prioritizing the right way is not about doing more. It is about doing what matters. When you choose better, you feel lighter. You feel calmer. You feel proud of yourself. And slowly, your life and your English begin to move forward together. Simple daily exercise for listeners. Now let's do a simple daily exercise together. This exercise is easy, calm, and very helpful. You can do it right now while listening, or you can do it later today. This exercise is not about writing. It is about thinking and speaking. You do not need perfect English. You only need honesty and a little courage. First, find a quiet moment. Sit comfortably or keep walking if you are outside. Take one slow breath. Relax your shoulders. This exercise works best when your body is calm and your mind is open. Remember, there is no right or wrong answer. This is your personal space. Now I will ask you some simple questions. After each question, pause the podcast for a few seconds. Think about your answer. If you can, say your answer out loud. Speaking out loud is very important for your English. Even short sentences are good. Here is the first question. What did I spend most of my time on today? Pause for a moment. Think honestly. Was it work? Was it your phone? Was it rest? Was it learning? Say your answer out loud in a simple sentence. For example, today I spent most of my time on my phone, or today I spent most of my time working. Now, let's move to the second question. What is one thing I wanted to do, but did not do? Pause again. Think gently. Maybe it was English practice. Maybe it was exercise. Maybe it was rest. Say your answer out loud. You can say, I wanted to practice English, but I did not. Or, I wanted to rest, but I did not. Now, the third question. Why did I not do it? This question helps you understand your priorities. Pause and think. Was it because you were tired? Was it because you forgot? Was it because your phone distracted you? Say a simple reason. For example, I was tired, or I was distracted, or I chose something easier. Now let's ask a very important question. What is one small thing I can do tomorrow? Remember, small is good. Do not choose something big. Choose something easy. Maybe 5 minutes of listening, maybe repeating 3 sentences, maybe one short conversation. Say it out loud. For example, tomorrow I will listen to English for 5 minutes. Now let's practice encouragement. Say this sentence slowly. I do not need to be perfect. I just need to start. Pause and repeat it again. This sentence is very powerful. It helps your mind feel safe. Let's add one more sentence. Small steps are enough. Say it again. Feel the meaning. You can do this exercise every day. It takes only a few minutes, but it brings clarity. When you ask yourself these questions, you understand your habits. When you understand your habits, you can change them. This exercise also helps your English. You practice questions. You practice answers. You practice speaking about your real life. This is very important for fluency. Remember, this is not a test. This is a daily check-in with yourself. Be kind, be patient, and keep going. Now, as we come to the end of this episode, I want to leave you with a gentle message. Please remember this first. You are not lazy. Many people tell themselves this, but it is not true. You are a human being living a real life, with responsibilities, emotions, and tired days. Struggling with priorities does not mean you are weak. It means you are learning how to live better. Change does not come from pressure. It comes from understanding. Today, you listen to this episode. That alone is a positive action. It shows that you care about your growth and your English. Even listening is a step forward. Never forget that small steps are still steps. Small changes can bring big results. When you choose English for 5 minutes instead of scrolling, something changes inside you. When you speak one sentence instead of staying silent, confidence grows. When you repeat this again and again, progress becomes real. You do not need long study sessions. You need regular moments. Please be patient with yourself. Learning English is a journey, not a race. Some days you will feel motivated. Some days you will feel tired. This is normal. What matters is not perfection. What matters is coming back again and again with kindness. Try to make English part of your daily life. Listen every day, even for a short time. Speak every day, even if it feels uncomfortable. Use simple words. Use short sentences. This is how fluency grows. Slowly, naturally, step by step. Remember the main idea of this episode. You are not too busy. Time is not your enemy. Your choices shape your day. When you choose learning, even for a few minutes, you choose a better future. And you can do this. Before we say goodbye, I want to say thank you. Thank you for listening until the end of this episode. Thank you for giving your time, your attention, and your effort. Listening to a podcast in English is not always easy, so you did something good for yourself today. You should feel proud of that. I hope this episode helped you think in a new way about time, priorities, and learning. If you feel that some parts were difficult, that is okay. You can listen again. Listening again is very powerful. The second time, you understand more. The third time, you feel more confident. Repetition is one of the best ways to improve your English listening skills. I also invite you to practice speaking. You can repeat some sentences from this episode. You can answer the questions out loud. You can explain the idea to yourself in your own words. Even speaking alone is good practice. Your voice needs practice, just like your ears. If you enjoyed this episode, make English part of your daily routine. Listen a little every day. Speak a little every day. Small daily practice is better than long practice once a week. Be gentle with yourself and keep going. Thank you again for being here with Code Your English. I'm happy to learn and grow with you. Take care of yourself, keep practicing, and I'll see you in the next episode.